everybody. Happy Sunday. Today is July 7th, 2024. If you're watching it live, if you are watching it in 2035, it's probably not Sunday. We are doing the 100-day challenge. I am counting down to the Now Honors in the Power of Pink, October 3rd through the 5th. And the last day of the challenge, I will do from inside the Palms Hotel and Brendan's Theater. So you guys can see, if you didn't get your tickets and you're not going to be there, you can at least see the venue and what we'll be doing in the space. So we're super excited. Every day we're trying to have someone, thank you, Alan. He's always on cue. Isn't that a beautiful space? Oh my goodness. Every day we're trying to have an amazing coach, speaker, entrepreneur, and today is no different. You guys may not know this, but I'm going for my PhD. Yeah, with everything else going on. I want to be Dr. Tigo. What? So Dr. Pauline Crawford is here. She is from the School of Entrepreneurology. I can never say that on cue. Dr. Pauline, what's happening? How you doing? And say this for me.
Entrepreneurology.
I said it right. Entrepreneurology. I'm right.
Right. It's an ology of entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurology.
Amazing. Amazing. But you have a personal mission, of literally speaking, being a part of, being in the world of, and influencing women that are making a difference. You love visionary change makers, yes?
Absolutely. I believe we have to really highlight, this is, Network of Outstanding Women, this whole challenge, it's about change makers in the world. How are we going to change the world? There's so many amazing women and men, but let's look at what women do. When they change the world, they really nurture the people around them. And that's what I'm passionate about, because I'm also passionate about authentic harmony and not fighting. I think we've done it with fighting. We just got to be ourselves and be the amazing women that we are. In whatever specialist field we're in, that's fine. We're all different. But how do we be ourselves and come together? That's what I'm passionate about, and change the world so we have a better life ahead.
I got to ask you that too, because you are all about harmony. And can you explain what that means to you? Because you're not just talking about a song.
No.
You're not talking about singing in harmony. You have spent your career doing just this. Can you explain it a little bit for me?
Well, it's okay. It's everything you do in every day. How do you meet people? How do you greet people? Whether it's your family or the supermarket, how do you connect in harmony? So it isn't a way like music, but it's the music of conversation and words. So do we share our words and our communication and touch and hugs and smiles so that we create this flow of harmony? Because we've got too much fighting and conflict in the world. But I think the power of authentic harmony is like the power grid of electricity. You can imagine you plug your computer in and it works. You put it into the electricity grid. How about we power up the authentic harmony of everybody in the world? Yes.
Wow, that is one heck of a mission.
Oh, it is.
And when I first met you, I went, how many does she sleep? How is she going to pull this off? It is absolutely amazing. But when you're in a room, you bring that harmony to the room, because I was there, when our good friend Patty got her PhD, and the room was just in sync. There was this harmony going on, especially after you spoke. And I went, okay, this is what she's doing. You bring that calmness to every environment. Have you always been that way?
I have actually. I was brought up in a family in Great Britain who had lots and lots of tea parties. So always tea parties with aunts and uncles and cousins, and there was always chatter and conversation. When I was at school, I was always the center of communication. People would come to me about other people and how do I do this? So I'm just a natural communicator. I'm a Gemini. I love the idea of words making an impact that is good, and listening. So, I think we sometimes forget that listening and talking are the two aspects. And we often don't think about listening, and we think about the words we want to say. So I always say you've got to be in the space of conversation. You imagine that between us, there's a swirl of conversation. And
Hmm.
that is what we can express ourselves in. But we don't have to fix anybody. We just have to be part of the flow. So I would say that a magical conversation is the space between us, and imagine that space filled with goodies and smiles and love and harmony.
I love it. Now, I know that everybody knows how to talk, especially in a cocktail mixer and a networking party. Everybody knows how to talk. Most don't know how to listen. How do you become a good listener?
Well, I think we could start with observation. So imagine yourself as an observer. So when you go into a situation, take some time to look at the people around you. I always smile. I'm known for my smile, but come in with a very welcoming countenance. Be present. So stop thinking about what am I going to say, and think about how am I going to receive. Because once you start
Mm,
receiving somebody else's conversation, they are drawn to you and they feel more confident about being in your space. So it's a flow rather than take ourselves out of our head and think, oh my God, what am I going to say? And just be in the feeling of the environment. A lot of people get nervous about going into strangers, but you do know yourself.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
you're never alone. I would say, who's whose
Yeah,
body did you see today?
my good friend and mentor Lillian Morris taught me years ago that because I had this really bad habit of I would hear the first part of the question and then my brain starts building the response. And she's like, stop trying to respond to everything and start receiving what people are saying. The response will come on its own. And it took her years to get me to do that because I was already like, you start talking about sports. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm ready, and they were going an entirely different direction. So my response made no sense, you know?
Well, you can always say, "Oh, wow, that's amazing," or "I didn't quite get what you said. Could you just repeat that?" See, I wear hearing aids, so I have a great excuse. I say, "Oh, sorry, I didn't quite catch that. I got a hearing aid." But basically, you're inviting somebody towards you as opposed to pushing them away. And too many people think, "Oh my God, I've got to be everything. I've got to fix everything." No, you
Mhm.
don't need to fix anything. Just be yourself. That's what I
So
teach my clients.
go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's what I help people to see. I teach. I say I facilitate this change. And what I do in sessions is to listen to people. And when you start listening to people who hear the words they say, and you can start tracking what kind of um, style they are, what kind of archetype they are, because they will use certain words. So one of the tricks, it is a trick, is to use somebody else's words. I don't mean the whole words, but if they are "Oh, I love sharing," then start saying, "Oh, I love the share that you've just given me," because basically you're tapping into the
Connecting. Yeah. That's so cool. Give me another one. That's really cool. What else you got, Doc?
well, it's all about. I think a lot of time, especially when we're so tense and there's a lot of tension in the world, we get too focused on all the external stuff. Actually, the internal stuff is actually more important. So just deciding that you're going to be in this space and enjoy it. And maybe not going to say anything much at the moment. Just don't try and put yourself into an exam situation.
Right. Right.
Because, you know,
Exactly.
exams are
Exactly.
about, oh, did I get that right? I remember when I first learned that I didn't need to know everything. When you're a teenager, especially, and you think, oh, I didn't really understand that, but I'll pretend I did. And then
Right.
then somebody asks you and you go, oh, actually, it's much better to say, I didn't get that.
I didn't learn that till I was in my 40s.
Yeah,
Literally. I was shy and ashamed of asking, could you repeat it? I didn't get it. I felt bad that I missed it. I was over here trying to think of what I was going to say and it's like I missed what you said. So I didn't learn that till I was in my 40s. Literally. I didn't learn that till then. But I
I,
got to ask you, what does all this do for fear? Because a lot of times people don't engage in networking events or at mixers or at the Now, and the Power of Pink. They don't connect with their heroes. Their sheroes are in the room and they're afraid to go over there and talk to them. How does this help them with their fears?
Well, it gets people into the sense of their own value. So one of my core principles is that, and it is like the oxygen mask on the aeroplane, but into today's life, whose body are you taking out for the day?
Mm.
Take ownership of it, be yourself, and decide that you value yourself. What are your good traits? What do you do well? What do you love doing? Make a list of all the things that are good about yourself, and don't go and bounce those onto everybody, but just go in with that feeling of I'm good, I'm good, and then listen, observe, and you start getting this flow. So value creation is I honor me in order to honor you and me, so that we can be together. And it's as simple as that. To get to we have to know me. We have to know the relationship, and that's what I love doing, because everybody's got all the talents and gifts. They don't need to learn anything else. All I'm doing is guiding them to what they are already. That we are
That's amazing.
100%. We are 100% brilliant. We just sometimes don't know it.
Now, speaking of brilliant, let's talk about entrepreneurology, because if we get out of here and we don't talk about it, I'm going to get hate mail. So how are you bringing all of this to the entrepreneurology PhD program?
Well, it's part of the essential learning, and entrepreneurology is very simply, it's combining knowledge, experience, and imagination. So my PhD, your PhD, is a professional higher doctorate in your life success. It's not an academic PhD. It's very different. It has 52 years of history. I will share that with anybody who would like to know more. But it's combining your knowledge, your experience, and your imagination. So in order to be an entrepreneurologist, a change maker, an entrepreneur, an inspiration to others, you've got all of that. And the PhD is about how do we document that so we can share it with other people. There's various protocols and learning within the process, but it's great fun as well, because it's about yourself, it's about your life, and it honors especially entrepreneurs and people who are changing the world. I always say, you wouldn't send Sir Richard Branson back to college to tell him he's good. He knows what he does, and you're the same. You have created your success through your own life. You say, it's
Thank you, Doctor.
School of Hard Knocks.
Yes, the School of Hard, absolutely, with big giant boulders in the middle of the road. Let me just tell you. But what I love about your program is that I've been offered, honorary masters, honorary doctorates over the years. I didn't accept them because I didn't feel I earned them. I wanted to earn it. And with your program, you have to earn it. This isn't something you're just handing a piece of paper out. It's
Absolutely.
a year or two of your life that you've got to dedicate and dig in and go for it. But then on top of that, it's based on my life and my journey, my journey through technology, my journey through media and production, my journey through television. It's amazing to me. And I was so honored when you said, that, hey, we want you to be a part of the program. I'm like, but I don't have this and I haven't done that. And you were like, wait, it's the 40, 50 years of your life that you've been doing all along, because I started my first business when I was 10.
Yes.
And being able to earn a PhD for those experiences is just absolutely mind-blowing. And I don't think that a lot of entrepreneurs know that I know I didn't know until I was recently introduced to you guys in the last 6-7 months. I didn't know that I could get a PhD in my life experiences. That's an amazing thing. And I want to thank you so much for bringing a program like that to light. And it's not new. Your family's been doing it for 50 years.
52 years, established in Hawaii. It's not a campus university. It's a concept. It's a certified program. And it's about the chapters of your life. So as you do the dissertation, you're writing the chapters of your life. So you do have to dig deep into when things went maybe sideways. But the learning that you got from those chapters is what it's about. And we want to make sure that we have many, many, many PhDs who can then facilitate change programs for kids. Because out there are millions and millions of teens who were so talented and so brilliant, and they're not going to go through the traditional academic. They're going to find their way with us.
Yeah, and hopefully not like I did in the dark with a pen light, trying to find my way. It's like, having people like yourself and others to be able to stand, and one day soon me, to stand there and say, hey, let me shine the light on the path to your success is just humongous for me. And I can't wait to get through the program, earn my PhD so I can be, Dr. Tigo. I'm going to have it stenciled on everything I own. But on top of that, take it, because we just recently did our first production camp with kids from the core program, and to be able to and to be able to take that to my kids at the core program and say, look, here's the journey, here's the steps, this is how you get here, whether it's media or whichever direction they want to go in, because the road to success is very dark a lot of times.
A lot of times.
Yeah, and a lot of time.
What's really interesting is it's about your own subject matter expertise. So yours is production and all the things you just said. Mine is about authentic harmony and gender dynamics intelligence. Other people will be, you could have an entrepreneurial dentist, you can have an entrepreneurial heart surgeon. It's not the academic study, it's what you do with it. How do you expand your experience and think big? Which you've done. You think big.
No. I am so glad that you came and spent a little time with me. You and I, we could sit and talk for hours. We have and will again. We could sit and talk for hours. I want to extend an invitation for you to come and speak at the Power of Pink, because I think that would be absolutely fantastic to have you on stage.
I would love to be there.
Awesome. That's fantastic. And if people want to know more about the Entrepreneurology program, say that 5 times fast, Entrepreneurology program, how do they get in touch with you? What do they do?
Well, you can find me on social media, Pauline Crawford, Dr. Pauline Crawford, or just Pauline Crawford. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, and also on our website, iuenow.com or iuenow.org. Either of those. We're also expanding our platform and changing things. But if you're an entrepreneurologist, you'll be able to find me.
That's so true. I thank you so much for hanging out with me, Dr. Pauline, and I can't wait to see you on the stage at the Power of Pink and the Now Honors in October. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, everybody. You know what to do. If you didn't write it down, if you're driving, whatever, go to Tigo Direct, type in Dr. Pauline, type in Crawford. You could try typing in Entrepreneurology, but it's a mouthful. Anyway, reach out to her, send her a message, say, hey, I want to be in the program, or I just want more information, or I just want a more harmonious life. She's a really great person to help you get there. I hope you enjoyed this program. See how I'm doing? And there's no cuts, because guess what? It's live. All right, you can laugh at me later. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I want you to come back next time. And as always, I'm Tigo. I'll talk to you. Yeah, you guessed it. Tomorrow. Have a great day.